Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is Muhammad Shaban, of course, and it is the 12th, January 12th, 2016. It's around 7:21 p.m. And the reason I'm making this video, and there's gonna be more to come, it's about apartment complexes, management companies, the mega ones, corporate America, that they continue to commit crimes against the masses, everyone, the most vulnerable mostly, but everyone is a subject, everyone that they can get away with. And the state and the federal government is helping them. Handed us to them because they are the government. They own the globe. This is Oak Tree apartment. Well, we will see the video. On or about end of 2005, beginning of 2006, I moved from Corona, Oakwood, and I have another story. I'm gonna just put it on my website too, to Oak Tree. This year, I had I think it was 2005. I had my daughters moved in and stayed with me, rented this apartment. Okay. Now, I have previous experience with this company, Western National Management Company. And I tried to call the Department of Unfair Employment and Unfair Housing, of course, HUD, Department of Justice. And if you would be able to file the complaint, then they will jerk you around and get you dizzy, intimidate you. If you have that luxury, you will get intimidated before, and they will interrogate you, and they will harass you, and they will make threats to you. All right, and they will commit every crime. This is the state. The state. Okay, HUD. Forget about Fair Housing Council in any county or any city. Those are funded by management company, property management companies. They are the ones funding them. So what do you think? It is a conflict of interest. They are not going to work for the tenants. They do the same thing, intimidate, and it's fraud, crimes. And the federal government knows everything. They get you dizzy. They said who did what and when. You're still asking me that. Not me only, but the people that they file or they go and file a complaint. And again, other crimes will be justified, heinous crimes, because you stood up and you filed a complaint. They decommission you. You're out of business. You can get a room. You can get a business office. You can get nothing. You don't get housing. You don't get nothing. And then they put you on the system and they hijack your children. They kidnap you. You commit every crime because you stood up and you said you guys are violating our rights. It's a crime. It's a crime, guys. It is. And everything after that is justified. And the federal government does it for them. The state first. This is state must develop. Because the federal government, is just going along with what, they don't need to. But anyway, let's continue. I look at an apartment that was in special. And it was a nice. Now, they have that one, the one I rented, down there, and they have problems, broken pipe, and it was mildew under the sink when I moved in, but I didn't realize, of course, didn't clean it and, make it all look nice, and the floor was vinyl floor in the kitchen, so you can't really see unless you open under the sink and you will see. But anyway, and I started noticing snails in the kitchen. And I thought, the guards left the door open. It's a first story apartment, and upstairs there is, So, and it was dark, and there is no sun goes in there, and there is, landscaping there, But anyway, snails. And I thought, I've seen it many times, and I move it and I clean, and because they poison snails. And of course, other insects, and then mold, the black mold, and all of and are there. So when I have the they say, oh well, this let's be we don't know where it comes from. Then I looked and I find that the pipe was broken and it's going from under the building and coming to the kitchen, and that's why the snails, come from the yard, Finally, maybe 6 months, and I kept filing complaint and telling the management and this and that. Finally, they rented a hotel room for a week or so for me and my children, and then they fix it, and then after that, of course, we moved out because but we moved to another Western National apartment. I and my ex and our children, both of us. The other one, the second one, when we moved out, my ex used to work in a carpet cleaning company. So she has her fellow, she was a project manager. So she has, the service, the truck came, and cleaned the carpet professionally. That's what they do for a living. Big company too. Clean it a couple of days before we moved out, so they don't charge us. Guess what? They kept the deposit, and they put us in collection. And they have to, when they keep harassing here, so I filed, I called the Department of Unfair Employment and Unfair Housing, and I got the same thing, and and the federal government should have all these calls, they've been spying on us for the longest time. Everything should be recorded, and they always say, oh, this call might be recorded and monitored for quality control or what have you. Just we're concerned about your privacy. Okay, so everything is recorded. I don't know why I have to prove this and prove. Look, documents everywhere. Look, guys. Look how many. This is only for a week. Here, and there is another pile there, and there is some pile on the floor. This is who I am. Alright. This is how they tell you proof and proof, and we don't need all of this. because again, everything is electronically done, and I will put the video for Google because Google is, it's cracking me up. All right, so if I fix it, and then they put us in collection, and then you can rent an apartment, and then you go, you get housing because you are homeless, and then they say, oh no, you have bad credit, you have to pay everyone. Safe credit, safe credit. Oh no, you have to have 2 months in advance for security deposit. They take this money, and imagine now, the majority of people have bad credit. Because if the Edison Company, you go to the Salvation Army or one of these places for low income, that is the federal government, they're getting the federal, that fraud, that fraud. I'm one of them, but I'm not that fraud. I'm .org. I'm doing the work, and I'm spending my own Social Security money on my work. And yet, they telling me, oh, well, you got to have this, and you got to have that, and you got to have that, and you got to have that, because don't if you have a developer, they are fraud, and they want to use your 501c 3 to they know everything, because the state is frauding the American people and getting the money and giving it to corporate America. All right, and fighting you in everything. It doesn't matter what it is. You're fighting the state and the federal government. You're not fighting your ex-employer or what, or the apartment complex or management or what have you. You're fighting the federal government, the state first, and then the federal government. All right, and they tell you, oh well, you can file a civil lawsuit against the state in a federal court. You can't. They say you can't. And they said the Constitution of the United States of America, and the first and the second and the 10 and the 20 and the 100 whatever amendment, and all these banners that they're lifting and all that good talk, and the land of the free and abused. Anyway, that's Western National Management Company, and I would ask the Department of Unfair Employment and Unfair Housing to put my name, Mohammed Shaban. That's it. That's all you need. You guys are always telling me, oh, we're concerned about the FBI. Always, they used to call me every couple of months. Even though I went and I knocked on their door 5 times. And the last time I told them I have a warrant. No, not the last time, the one before, because I went after that a couple of more times. And they said that they still say who did what and when. And what's your session? And then still concerned about your posting on Facebook. What do you think of ISIS? That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. Anyway, Western National Management Company. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Go to reference. Do anything. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.